let's talk about the blues. Born from African musical traditions and brought over to this country through the slave trade and further refined through work songs and spirituals, the style of the blues is unmistakable. The blues is directly responsible for almost every contemporary music that we know of. Country, jazz, rock, pop, gospel, R&B, all of it. Especially in jazz music, the influence of the blues is pervasive. When we hear someone really playing the blues in their improvisation, we often say that it's expressive, it's bluesy, it's funky, it's soulful. Sometimes a jazz soloist can weave the blues into the improvisation that they're playing. And sometimes the great jazz soloists can base their improvisation entirely on the blues. Most of the great players in jazz have integrated the style of the blues into their playing, and they know when to pull from it in the moment that they need it. So, what makes it sound like this? Let's talk about a couple of elements. First, the very vocal style of the blues. When the slaves were brought over from Africa in chains, they were stripped of their traditions and their culture. One of the most important being the drums. They weren't allowed to play the drums anymore, so they had to keep their traditions alive through whatever means they could, and that included vocalizing what they knew. The blues were born of slavery and quite literally a cry to God. The music is full of melismatic type runs and multiple note groupings. Listen to Ma Rainey, the queen of the blues, singing about 100 years ago.
My doorbell this morning, turn over the way to go.
Now, listen to John Coltrane, who sounds very similar to what you just heard, also playing the blues. At its core, it's like a holler or a scream. It's intense, incredibly emotional, and expressive. Secondly, let's talk about the theoretical aspect of the blues. I think we all know the blues scale. The blues scale is a hexatonic scale that's based on the minor pentatonic scale, only it includes a flat 5. A blues scale in the key of C would go C, E flat, F, G flat, G, B flat, and again it's C. You'll often hear great blues players using this scale alone and playing over the entire form of a blues, using their entire solo just to play these 6 notes. As jazz players, that's a little impractical for us, especially when we're negotiating chord changes. But when we can learn to pull from it, to get that extra punch, to get that extra emotion or that extra height we need during an improvisation, then you found magic. The key is to play to the sounds and not the notes of the scale. That bears repeating. Play to the sounds of the scale and not the notes. So what does that mean? Each scale degree has a specific color and weight against the chord. The root, for instance, has a very solid and final and consonant sound that almost brings us home when we're playing an improvisation. You have to experiment with all of the notes to find which ones sound the way that you want them to sound when you land on them. Again, remember this going forward. Don't play to the notes of a scale. Play to the sounds. Theoretically, the blues scale works over a couple of chords right away. those would be minor and dominant seventh. When we look at a minor 7 chord, most of those notes are contained within the blues scale itself. So they should pretty much all work over that kind of improvisation. Listen to this C minor improvisation using the blues scale. For a dominant 7th chord, that flat third doesn't necessarily line up, but it's a great tension that's played against a C7. The blues scale works pretty well against that chord. Listen to this improvisation against that C7 chord using the blues scale. Like I said, you have to experiment and find the sounds and the licks that work for you so you can pull them out at any time. Now, let's say you know the blues scale backwards and forwards. Let's try something different with it. Now, we already said that you could use the blues scale on a dominant 7th chord, but there's a different way we can use it. Over a dominant 7th chord and also over a major 7th chord, it's possible to use the blues scale. If we go down a minor 3rd interval from whatever chord we're on, say the chord of the moment is F7, let's go down 3 half steps to a minor 3rd. That makes it a D. If you play a blues scale in the key of D over an F7 chord, it should work great. Here is an example. The same notes work, but the colors are different. The sounds are different. This also works over a major chord. Let's take C major, for example. If we go down a minor 3rd from C major, we get A. That gives us A blues scale. Here's an example of an improvisation using A blues scale over a C major chord. Now, if we look at this in a technical way, what we're really doing is emphasizing a major pentatonic instead of a minor pentatonic, which is what the blues is. We're using the relative minor to play that major pentatonic. But as a hack, you can think of yourself going down a minor 3rd and playing the blues scale there. So this is a technique a lot of soloists use where you think of another set of notes in order to improvise on one chord. I promise we'll get into that eventually. For now, explore these colors. It's just a 6-note scale, but there are a lot of possibilities. And people listening tend to connect on a very deep level when you play the blues. So put on your favorite soloists playing and see if you can pick out those moments where they really dig deep and play some blues. Then practice these approaches until you know them cold. The fun part is when you can pull out something soulful or bluesy when you want to in an improvisation. It'll take the music to another level. Part 2 of this lesson, we're going to talk about the blues form and the 7 levels of blues that might occur on the bandstand at any moment. I hope you'll join me. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, I'd appreciate it if you click the like button, and I'd appreciate it even more if you click that subscribe button. Ring that bell to be notified the moment I post a new video, and there will be new videos of a jazz bass-centric subject coming at you every single week. Thanks for joining. Till next time, Take care of yourself, and please love your neighbor.